Alright, so in this video we'll be checking out the Genesis Mini 2 from Sega, and let's get into it. Alright, so this is the second in the mini series for the Genesis, and I'm actually really excited for this guy with all the games that are on it, and I'll show you those in a second. We're going to switch camera angles, we're going to unbox this guy, and then we're going to go take it over to the computer, get some captured footage of it, and just talk about game experience and everything. So we'll check that out in a second, but I do own the first one of these, and I use it quite a bit to play Genesis games, at least the ones I don't own. It's a really good way of getting some of the games that are more expensive on the systems, because this has CD games as well as Genesis games, and I believe there are 7 here that are either new to the Genesis or just new to the American Genesis. Not 100% sure on that. As they would say, they're bonus games, bonus original titles, so I'm not sure. Let me know down in the comments if they are like only released in Japan and maybe they converted them over and translated them. Don't know too much about those specific 7 games, but some of these are really rare, and so it's really cool that they're able to re-release this and we can play them. And so let's go ahead and switch camera angles. We'll box this guy and go over to the computer and capture, like I said before, and let's get to it. Alright, so here's the front of the box. Tells you what you get in the box, which is the Genesis Mini 2 console, 1 wired control pad, USB power adapter, power cable, and an HDMI cable. I usually don't use the HDMI cables they include in this, I just leave them in the box, but that's because I have a lot of them. So it's really cool that they added everything you need, though, to play this. So if you do want to play any 2-player games that are on this list, you'll have to get another controller of some sort. Hopefully these work with all the other controllers I have already. I'm sure it uses USB of some sort, so I'm sure I can either adapt to it or just use it natively, depending on which one it is. But here is the list of games, like I promised you guys. And it is T-rated, so some of these games are not E for everybody, so there's that. Let's go ahead and open this guy up. So nice little presentation here. That's really nice. So the USB to micro USB, it looks like. That's probably the power adapter. There's the HDMI. Like I said, I'm not going to open this as I just don't need it. Let's go ahead and grab this guy. So this is the console, and there's the controller and the power adapter. I like that they actually gave you one of these, because some of these mini consoles didn't come with them, and that was kind of annoying, but that's kind of cool that they did give this. Let's go ahead and that was all that was in the box. Let's go ahead and open these guys up. So controller first. So it is USB, so that's kind of cool, USB-A. I think I have a lot of USB-A Genesis controllers, so that'll be okay, as well as I have other ones that are not, so that they won't be able to be used. But this controller is pretty nice feeling. I'm sure you can buy the controller separately. I actually didn't look. Otherwise, there's companies that'll sell you 6-button Genesis controllers, so set that to the side for a second. And we'll look at the console itself. I like this. This looks really nice. This is the style of Genesis that I remember most as a kid, so I do like that this is there. It's weird that this is a switch. Usually the power switch was a button. Maybe to save space inside, they just made it a little flip on and off. So that's definitely different than the one that they released here in the United States. It's got 2 USB-A's on the front, and it's got a little guy here to simulate what it was for the CD adapter there, and it even has the little clips that you would need for the CD adapter there. So there's that, and HDMI, micro USB for power, and that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and switch to the computer, show off some of the games as well as my experience using this for a few days, and finish up the video.
Alright, so we're back on the computer, but I didn't actually want to play through it or anything, so I'm just going to use this setup to say what I liked about it and everything. It has been a few days, actually. I played around with it a bit. and you'll see some video of me just playing around with a bunch of the games on the system as I'm talking. So I really enjoy it. I didn't find any issues with any of the parts, sound, video, input delay, or anything like that. So let me know down in the comments if you guys did. Uh, I really enjoy the catalog. So I was able to confirm watching MVG's video about it that it is a type of port job that they did with the 7. I'm not sure if that is the language or it was on a different system or not. And so I'm excited that those are over here now, as well as all of the other games that are on there. Some of them are duplicates from the first one, but I actually enjoy the games like Toe Jam and Earl. I don't know if you're seeing a video of that right now. But I do enjoy those games a lot, so I'm glad that they're on there. It means I don't have to hook up the old one. But there are games that are on the old one that weren't on this one, so some variation there, as well as Sega CD, which I'm really looking forward to, since I only own a few games on that and they're getting expensive, and a lot of these games are actually expensive, so it's really cool that they're re-releasing them and we have a cheaper way of getting them rather than having to buy the actual ones, even though I might actually just buy the expensive games eventually as I get through collecting those. But it is a cool way to get, for people that are not, enthusiasts with the retro community, to actually get them in and playing Genesis games that are kind of harder to find and not, reasonably cheap. So it's always a good thing to have them re-release these games, as well as I hope that they do another one, maybe a little bit more focused on 32X or like a newer system like the Dreamcast or Saturn, and be able to release those, as some of those games have really gotten up in price, especially the Saturn games. And I do enjoy those games as well. So hopefully they can eventually do a Saturn Mini and a Dreamcast Mini. The Dreamcast Mini might be easier than the Saturn. Emulation on Saturn is kind of difficult, but I think that overall it's a good thing to have these. I had no issues with it. I'm not a real stickler for Genesis games though, or really the sound. The first one apparently had issues and I didn't notice it. So let me know down in the comments if you guys know of anything that's a problem with this one. I would love to know. Yeah, I still love it. I'm still gonna like it no matter what. But I do realize that there's probably some issues with it, as well as the first one. But I'm just glad that they actually re-release these and still doing mini consoles, even though every other company seems to have dropped it. I would love to see a PS2 mini, maybe a GameCube mini, or maybe some of the handhelds from Nintendo would be really cool to see them actually release like mini, or not mini, but just a re-release of Game Boy games that are all built into a Game Boy or something like that. That would be really actually cool. So again, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about the Genesis Mini 2. And before we get out of here, like this video if you liked it, dislike if you don't, hit the subscribe button and then turn bell notification on so you get notified when we upload new videos. As well as we're going live on Twitch as much as possible. Right now we're in a vacation break, so we'll get back to streaming regularly, and there's a stream schedule on Twitch that you can look at, and it changes the date and times to your current date and time. So it's actually a really good tool there. And so my Twitch is linked down in the description, so you can check that schedule out as well in the schedule tab, and also look down in the description for all other types of links to Twitter, Discord, and merch, and a bunch of other stuff down there. And if you follow on Twitter or Discord, you get notifications if we go live, and in Discord specifically, you get notifications on these videos, as well as shorts and lives and everything. So go ahead and join the Discord server and come talk about video games with us. And and the pop-up that shows up at the end of our videos is for publicly subscribed people to the channel. So if you subscribe to us and your subscriptions are public, you'll be added to the list. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.